Hello, hello, hello. How's it Thursday already? I feel like I've just woken up on Monday morning and here we are at the near end of the week. I hope you're having a good time of it. I hope you're staying cool if you're in the UK or the bits of America that are very warm at the moment. Luckily up here in northern Scotland, it's a lovely cool breeze blowing. It's all right. And what perfect conditions, segue, to have our live stream of the week. So welcome, long-time viewers and first-time callers all. As I say every time, we've got a lot of things to show you. So let's crack on and see what we have got coming up today. So here's our usual keynote and showing our agenda for the day. We are going to be looking at our latest and frankly ambitious task of the week. We'll see how it goes. We're going to be doing a royalty run today from soup to nuts. I thought it would be quite illuminating. And even if you're not using Consonance to do royalties, there's a lot along the way that we will enjoy discovering. We're going to be looking at some corking reports in our reporting spotlight of the week. We shall be going through our mailbag, looking at the correspondence from the week. Oh, this is so forced. Sorry, thank you for dealing with this highly contrived set of things we're doing. But it gets us there, it gets us using the system. It's all right. And then we're going to be looking at what's new. And then again, long-time listeners of the channel, viewers of the channel, will know that if you see my local dev machine being used for today's live stream, it means that I'm going to be showing you something so new that it's not even live on Consonance on the internet yet. So that is indeed the case today. We're going to be having a little sneaky peek at what's coming up. So with no further ado, let's crack onto our task of the week. And I think I've been a bit emboldened, haven't I, by last week's tremendous live success of doing marketing PDFs absolutely live and it all being so exciting. So today we're going to do the same for royalties. And what we've got here, what I thought we'd do is and I'm going to use air quotes, a simple, straightforward royalty run of a single sale on a single work. Because if we bring it down to that absolutely atomized level, then we'll see some of the basic processes that Consonance goes through. There is endless complexity that can be layered on top with royalties, as you know, because it's like an intersection of 20 years of commissioning editors coming up with some very creative, sometimes agent proposed terms in contracts. I'm thinking of those ones where you have 5/6 of the prevailing rate at the second Tuesday in the fourth month kind of terms. So we have to accommodate that kind of complexity. But we're also talking about many thousands of sales records, many thousands of pieces of data, many years of backlist contracts. And whilst it's true to say that it's an administrative task, taking sales, calculating royalties on them and creating materials that are going to be sent to authors, there is no more important part of the publishing process than this moment where you reveal to your contributors what the financial benefits or otherwise have been from the publishing process. It's so emotive. It gets so to the crux of what this is all about that I think it's a part of the publishing process where there's not really any scope for any more complexity than there has to be. So I'm excited to show you this. So here we are. We're going to be using our cats throughout history. You can see that I'm on my local machine as advertised. So when I move between pages, there's going to be some flickering, but don't worry about that. We are on my computer, as it were. And nothing up my sleeve. I'm going to show you that we haven't got any sales in the system for this particular product at the moment. No sales found for this work on any of the products that it has manifestations of. No paperback, no ebook, no hardback sales. What we do have is a contract, and when you create a new work in Consonance, a contract comes with it for free. This is the head contract between you, the publisher, and your author or agent or estate or other beneficiary. We call them payees. And the two pieces of information you'll need in a contract to run a very bare bones royalty run like this are to be found within the remittances area. You will need a payee, and you will need to say what amount of royalty that payee is going to get. So here we've got two. We've got an author and an illustrator. The author is getting 90%, the illustrator is getting 10%. And so that's going to tell Consonance the apportionment of any royalties. So you need that payee information. You also, and the payees, by the way, are articulated right there. And if you have, for instance, an anthology, maybe 32 contributors, there's a convenience method here to add all work contributors as payees. Sometimes easier to do that even if not all of them are in fact payees, and then remove them. So that's quite a nice affordance there. The other piece of information you'll need is a royalty specifier. And here we've got the boggiest of standards of royalty specifier. We've got 10% of net receipts. That's the opposite of list price. So we're paying 10% on the money we've received in. We're not paying 10% of $9.99 times the number of units sold if it's priced at $9.99. So that's the contract. And as I say, we haven't got any sales yet. So before we make any investigations in the contracts and royalties area, for that is where we will go later on, we're going to look at adding sales. So I'm going to go to my data exchange and admin area. I'm going to click imports. Now there is a page on Consonance where you can type in sales one by one. I would really reserve that for oddities and emergencies. I mean, when do you ever have a single sale? I always use the importer, and in fact I'm going to use the importer today for a single row of sales. It not only does it give you the ability to add data in bulk to Consonance, but I suppose it also sort of structures your thoughts a bit, and it enables you to get your data into a format that you're going to be running royalties on, and it's almost like a staging point, an opportunity to think, yes, validating, yes, this is what I want to do. So I'm going to click New Import and import sales. I could download my sales template, which I as a veteran of live demos, I have done already, and I have prepared one earlier. I'm going to browse, and I'm going to look in my pre-prepared folder for my demo sales template. Now let's just have a little look as to what that actually looks like. This is the file that you download when you click that button in Consonance to get the template. We've got columns, and there are certain columns that need filling out. There's extensive documentation as linked to from that page on the internet about this. So this is a real quickie. But the first column says, how are you going to be identifying this information? And here I am going to be using the ISBN 13. So I select ISBN. And in this next column I say, okay, and here is my ISBN 13. Excel does nefarious things with numbers and strings and things that look like numbers that maybe aren't. So we accommodate that as best we can. You'll see here that Excel is doing the thing it does, of turning it into this sort of exponential number. Consonance is going to handle that. We will see how that works. Then we're going to be putting in the sales channel ID. And this is the code that you have set up in Consonance to say, remember when we saw 10% net receipts? That's going to apply to all channels, but we can override royalty specifiers at different levels. I'm trying to keep this really straightforward for today. So we're going to import this sale into UK Home, which is my top level channel there. I'm going to put in a sales date, and for the avoidance of doubt, we're going to have the sales date in this particular ISO format, year hyphen month hyphen day. So that's the 1st of January. I could say something, let's make it a little bit more interesting, the 21st of January, and then that's clear that the middle bit's month, the last bit's day. Optionally, we can put in list price. It's not optional if you're, is it? I'll have to look that up. Just thinking, if it's a list price royalty, it might not be optional. I can't quite remember the code off the top of my head. The source is optional. That would be something like Amazon, your distributor name, some other maybe sales data aggregator. And then we've got sales quantity and sales value. Quantity is the number of units, 100. Sales value is the monetary value. So in your account, you have a default currency. This is going to be in your default currency. If you have got different currency sales, here's the opportunity to import them into Consonance and let Consonance find a foreign exchange rate to translate them into. I'm not doing that today, but one of the things we will do today, when we've come to the end of all of this, is we will delete everything that we've done. And so that should give you solace that if you play with this and if you upload some pretend sales and have a go to really internalize all of this stuff, then you're going to be able to back out of it with no trace. So that's going to be, okay to look at. Consonance is a management reporting system for these purposes. It's not a double entry bookkeeping system. So it's perfectly all right for data to be uploaded and deleted and tried again. So that's what this Excel spreadsheet looks like. Here we've got it ready to go, and I'm going to upload and validate. And that's going to go into this box here. We can see that the upload is successful and it's been queued for processing. Now, because I'm on my local system here, every now and again we're going to see a little icon pop out from the side here, and that's my local background server processing the job. There's going to be a lot of that today, but in real life you're going to be able to see your notifications appearing here and that sort of thing. So that upload has gone through, it's fine. We didn't make any mistakes. Mistakes might be things like, well, you're trying to upload sales for a particular ISBN 13, but we can't match that ISBN 13 with any products in the system. So there's going to be a useful validation step there to say, maybe not. Similarly, if you upload sales units and you make it as a percentage, like 1.5 units, then Consonance is going to say, no, that's not how books work. Try again. So we're all fine so far. So I'll approve the import, approve the import. And then in short order, we are going to see those sales arrive in the Cats Throughout History record, should we want to double check that that's there. So, oh gosh, Cats Throughout History. So many works that have got the word history in them. Who would have thought? So let's have a look. We've got sales here. And here now, we've got a single sale. And we've got Cats Throughout History, 100 units, sales value. Oh look, I changed the date, but I didn't actually change the file. So 1st of January it is. And if we click on this ID here, we're going to see a fuller version of this record. I'm going to show you now, really, so that we can come back and say, oh gosh, that's interesting. So boring data. This is just the stuff that we've uploaded already. Invoice date, sale quantity, sale value, and all of that, and the pricing. But what we've got here at the bottom is no sale level royalty calculations found. So remember, we're talking about a sales transaction. This happened in real life. Well, I mean, it didn't, pretend, but it's a sale that we will have got from a distributor. Somebody bought some quantity of our books and gave us money for it, and that's a real world thing that happened. And against that real world record, we are going to be able to store the exact royalty effect. So that would be really nice for stepping back through time, and it's going to enable all sorts of royalty reporting for you at the work level, and it's going to be able to give you the solace of understanding that an individual sale has been royaltied. So right now, all we've done is upload the sale, fine. We do have contract information in, great. We have not yet run the royalties on it, and that's reflected here where it says there are no sale level royalty calculations found. So let us do a royalty run. We've got our work. We've got Mary Glover expecting royalty payments. We know that there's a sale that will no doubt attract a royalty. So let us get on with it. I'm going to go to the main menu here and I am going to select royalty runs. It's the first of two options that we're going to look at. First, royalty runs, secondly, statements. And the royalty runs are the bit where we calculate the money that is going to, go out for all of the records within this work. So I'm going to call this live again, live demo, wow. And the maximum invoice date, I'll pick today's date. But oftentimes you're doing these things kind of, staggered, aren't you? You're doing a royalty run perhaps at the end of June for sales up until the end of March of that year. And then you might be doing a royalty run dated the 31st of December for sales up until the end of September. So you're doing 6 monthly royalties with a lag. So that's perfectly fine there. So here we are. So I've clicked through to our live demo royalty run batch, and there are no products on it at the moment. So the first order of events is to click on the actions and choose one of the ways of adding products to this royalty run batch. Now, in the real world, normally I would choose one of these sort of bulk actions up here, but today we are trying to follow one work through one royalty run. So I'm going to select products to add instead and choose, what was it called? Cats Throughout History, spelling, Cats Throughout History, and we'll choose that one. Great. So we press save and we've now got a royalty run with this one product in it. And these are products, not works, because we don't sell a work, do we? We sell a hardback or a paperback or an ebook or an audio download. And the products are the children of a work. So that's why we're looking at products here, because these are the things that have sold. And so this is the level at which a sale should rightfully be on. It'll make a little bit more sense when I click through to the next two options, because I'm going to have an analysis of this product done. And oh no, sale record 0. I must have added the wrong one. Oh, live demos. So I was expecting to see our sales record there. What was the ISBN? Oh, it's 378. Okay, debugged. So I'm going to, select a product to add. Maybe type, no, doesn't search by that. It's because my head's in the way on this thing. History, Cats Throughout History. There's 378. That will have a royalty, a sale record against it. Now I click Analyse again. Oh, at least I got to show you that you can keep reanalyzing these records until you see what you expect to see. And sure enough, gosh, there's a sale record, but it has an unroyaltied sale record so far. So we are going to now execute the calculations. And this is going to give me not only line by line my royalty due here, but it's also going to sum up, it's going to aggregate the total royalties that are due on this royalty run. And for cash flow management purposes, this in itself can be super powerful because you've got now a heads up as to what your liabilities are, what your obligations are for the point at which the point in time when you need to pay your royalties. So if you want to run your royalties monthly and pay them annually, if that's what contractually you're set up to do, that is absolutely fine. There is no, as you've seen, there's no required link between a royalty run and a royalty statement batch. So that can give you control and agency and solace and enable you to plan properly for your royalty runs in and of itself. You remember this sale was 10% of net receipts. It was a sale for £1,000. I think that makes sense that the royalty due is £100. 10% of 1,000 is 100. We are winning. So that's the royalty run. I mean, that's it, that's done. What's next? Producing statements. So the royalty run, this is at product level. Imagine how much paper we would be generating if we sent through royalty statement information to our payees at the product level. For some of our poor payees, that would result in an old-fashioned phone book's worth of paper. Now, when we send statements, there is an aggregation going on, isn't there? We want to, at the very least, group the products in under their work and under their contract. And we probably want to group our what was I going to say? We would probably want to group our contracts under the payees as well. Oh, so much to think about. So let's go to statements and let's sort that out. So again, I'm going to add a statement batch, and I'm going to say live demo test. It's all going fine. Date 2. So when you start doing royalties in Consonance, you say what you want your pattern to be. This is editable. We'll say that, and for this account, we're doing it every 6 months. And these, in fact, were the dates patterns that I mentioned. You know, every 6 months, but we're talking about a lag there. But that'll be fine. And then we're going to go into this royalty statement batch, and we've got another actions button because no contacts have been found this time. So this time, again, you know, perhaps normally I would add all contacts, but this time I'm going to select contacts, and I'm going to choose Mary Glover, who we saw on the contract was a recipient of payments on this. Nothing showing so far because we haven't yet run this set of royalties, but here we go. Click on actions, and now we've got the option to generate statements. And we're rapidly approaching the end of the royalty run, I have to say, because now, you know, our statements are generating in the background. We've got not very many PDFs to generate at this point. And now if I click on this row, I'm going to see the information that's been generated. So we haven't got any of this information in for this imaginary person, but we have got a tab here and a downloadable PDF. And for Mary Glover, within this period, the sales have been 100 units and £1,000 worth. The period royalties aren't £100 like we said. Do you remember why? It's because she's down in the contract to receive 90% of the total royalties owing. And so correctly that says 90. And if we were to run the royalty statement for whichever imaginary person I put down as the illustrator who was getting 10%, they would be getting £10. So there's that ability to carve up the amount of money owing on a royalty payment between the payees, however you defined it in their contract, however you agreed it with them. So yeah, so I mean that's it. You know, we've got live sales here. Now this is the first imaginary statement we've done for people here. And we can download this into a zip file for checking. We can click on the PDF and just download it one by one. We can download the payment report, download the report of all of the payments that are due into a spreadsheet so that we can send that over to finance, or so that we can look at that and check that off and get those paid through the real bank account. The final part of the process is to then get into Consonance the actual payments that you did make. You know, reason is you might have something like a de minimis. You know, the amount of royalties that have just been earned might be maybe £3, and your de minimis is £30, and so you want to roll it forward to the next period, or to the period when the de minimis amount is exceeded. That's perfectly fine if that's in your contract, and Consonance can do that, which is why Consonance isn't going to now assume that £90 is going to be paid out and add that as a record. There's all sorts of complexities. As I say, we didn't talk about advances, we haven't talked about reserves, we haven't talked about publishing fees or negative balances. all sorts of things that that can be layered on top of this. But I think that was fun and useful to go through the bare bones of how this works. And as I promised, I'm now going to delete all of that. So let's go back to Cats Throughout History to check that throughout history, to check that we can see the sales have been royaltied at that local level. So Cats Throughout History, let's have a look at the sales. Remember, there should be one sale, lovely. Previously we clicked on the sale record and we saw the stuff we'd uploaded, but now we've got the royalty calculated on this sale. And if we expand that line there, we're going to see a little bit more information. If it had exceeded an escalator boundary, we'd have that detail there. We would see what fraction of this single sale transaction applied to both stages or even more stages of an escalator. We see some more information there. We see calculation version, system ID. So, really useful set of information there, which you can use to build up all sorts of interesting information about how your works have performed. Now we've got this analysis page where we can see, the shape of where sales are coming from, over what period, for which products there. So really, really useful stuff. But as I say, now I am going to wipe the board clean to demonstrate that you can go into your account and try this with no sort of sense of peril, because you can delete this dry run. We can go here, we can delete it. And then if we go back to Cats Throughout History, we're going to be able to see that our sale is now unroyaltied, and sale is unroyaltied. There we go. And then we're going to be able to delete this sale as well and start again. So I would, if you're at all royalties curious, I would suggest that you get in touch with us. Actually, have a chat. We are very keen to sort of give you these big broad shapes up front, and there will be very, very specific requirements that you have, all sorts of data twangles, all sorts of interesting here's and there's and wherefores. So get in touch and we will advise on how to take it forward. But think about bringing this sort of level of kind of just administrative straightforwardness to one of the most important aspects of the of the publishing program. I think it's good stuff. Great. Right, on with our agenda. We've done a royalty run, that is now in the past tense. Let's see what we've got next. We're in the reporting spotlight, and in the reporting spotlight is today's challenge. Our challenge is to reveal a list of authors who are also illustrators. And I think when we're looking at things like this, it's quite useful to sort of try to go as far as you can down a particular path using the tools that feel quite straightforward. And it's when you hit a bit of a wall that you think, yes, I wonder if it's going to need something a little bit more refined, nuanced, some set of words there. So I'm going to show you the wall I hit here, and then show you how I resolved it. So, here I am on a search and I am trying to get a list of cat illustrators. Now I'm holding it in my mind that I want to get a list of authors who are also illustrators. So I come to my search, I say the work contact role includes illustrators. If I layer in authors here, I'm just going to get a mishmash. I'm going to get all of the contacts, whether they are illustrators or authors. And I don't want that. I want only the contacts who are both illustrators and authors. So this isn't going to cut it. This is my list of contacts who are illustrators. Fine. I've got all cats grey, cats of the world, cats of history, blah, blah, blah. The contributors on these works are Mary Glover, she's an illustrator, Bob Cratchit, he's an illustrator, Bob Cratchit, he's an illustrator, Bob Cratchit, he's an illustrator. Okay, fine. Let's go back to my main list there. Let's have a look at cat authors. So Mary Glover is a cat author, but I'm getting no sense here of whether she's an illustrator as well, and I can't just include any of author and illustrator, because that's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in the both of them, not the any of them. So I have to go back to my main menu again, and I have to create one of these reports that reference other reports. So here it is. Here's my cat contributors who are both authors and illustrators. And this is how I've done it. I've got this contributors search, and that gives me the options of in all of. And so I can reference these searches that I've done, the cat authors and the cat illustrators searches. And that unlocks the secret for me. Here's Mary, and she's an author and an author and an author and an author. And she's an illustrator on cats throughout history. So I thought that was obviously this is just all about imaginary cats. This was a real world problem I was trying to solve myself earlier in the week. And I thought it was just really nice to share that, when I needed to dive through my existing results and just get down to that next level, this is the way to do it. So screenshot this, email us, or try it yourself. It becomes much more meaningful when it's on your data with a real problem in front of you. But I thought I'd share that this was a real problem I had, and this was the report that solved it for me. So good times. Okay, let's go back to our agenda and see what's next on it. Oh, how exciting! We have a bonus reporting spotlight. Now, I popped this one in because it's really, really quick and short, and I couldn't fill a whole 30 seconds with it. Maybe I can. Let's see. I wanted to get, what did I want to get? I wanted to get a list of products that hadn't been sent in ONIX to a particular recipient. I was highly motivated for a personal publishing reason to figure out which products hadn't gone to this particular recipient. And so I went to my reporting area and I haven't even bothered saving it actually because it's so straightforward. And I created a new report and I typed in ONIX, products ONIX. And there's an option and it says sent to, and sure enough in the middle, not sent to. And then randomly, of course, I'll pick Amazon Kindle Enterprise Publishing at the top. I'm sure that wasn't the case I was trying to solve, good Lord. And then I get it. I get all of the products, all of the works, all of the everythings that haven't been sent to Kindle, to Amazon Kindle. And then I can sort of refine that. I'm like, well, okay, but 571 products sounds like a lot. How do I refine that down? Well, I'm only interested in the digital books to start with. So let's whittle that down. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. And on and on and on. I can refine my thing in. So I just wanted to share that little bonus reporting spotlight moment. Products ONIX, not sent to, name of your recipient. And this will get your usual recipients. This is kind of you specific. So that was a very nice one, short and sweet, a little bit of a bonus. And I found extra art on the internet to say that it was a bonus, so that was fun. In fact, getting the art for the PowerPoint took longer than doing the thing, but such is life. Right, what's next on the list? Let's have a look. From our own correspondence, and this week we came across an issue, and it's the sort of issue where it's a little bit dry until it's you that it's affecting, and then suddenly it's extremely interesting. I want to talk to you about Consonance being able to set availability, not just at the product level, not just at the work level, but at the supplier product level. And so you're thinking, when would this ever be useful? This is just silly. And I invite you to consider the moment when you think, oh, wouldn't it be great to do print on demand as a strategy? But then you need to migrate to that new strategy, and you've got some products on a work that are going to go through your new POD supplier, and you've got other products on the work that you're still printing litho and are stored at your big expensive distributor's warehouse. And suddenly you think, oh my goodness, I need to have product level, supplier level availability codes so that I can say it's not available. The paperback is not available at the distributor, but it is available at the print on demand supplier. So we got that kind of a query. Somebody wrote in and said, I changed a product's availability from available to in stock, but it didn't trigger a feed. Because they were trying to, change the product's availability. And I thought this was a useful aside also to mention, because one shouldn't have to change a product's availability from available to in stock. But this particular distributor requires that change to trigger some internal thing in their own internal systems. So I thought I'd use this as an opportunity to share this blog post link to our blog, in which Dave waxes lyrical about how the ONIX standard is not very standard. Sometimes we have to send things in ONIX that, if you read the documentation, you'd think, oh, well, I don't need to do that. But for human reasons and for other people's systems reasons, sometimes you do. So enjoy reading the 15 or so different reasons why the ONIX standard is not very standard, as penned by Dave. And this is that sort of thing. So what did we say to this to this client who kindly got in touch to allow us to provide direction? We noticed that the supplier specific config for this particular distributor was still set to reprinting. And the important nugget of information there is that supplier level configurations overwrite product level statuses. So you might be scurrying off to your account in Consonance now and thinking, oh, I'll have a look to see if, what levels of complexity I can discover on the metadata page. And you may discover none, because product level availability may not be remotely relevant for you, in which case your account may not have had it switched on for you, because if you don't need to set it, why expose you to the complexity of this sort of thing? So if you're thinking, oh my goodness, this would solve all of our problems, then get in touch and we will assist you to navigate this approach, and we will also turn on product level availability for your account. Next slide will have some other information, which is that if you get that switched on, you also get a product suppliers piece of display here on the reporting area. And you will then be able to see at a glance, product by product, supplier by supplier, what the current availability settings are. So that can be really nice to see that kind of grid level, rather than having to go into each individual work and click through and eyeball it. So if you do use product level availability, and if you would like to see that sort of level of granularity, then head over to the reporting area and eyeball that product suppliers display and have at it. Very good. Right, what's next on the list? This is so exciting. So a couple of weeks ago, you remember that I showed you our emerging functionality, which is giving you ever greater control over your marketing PDFs. Now, we have had I'm really glad. We have had some very encouraging and enthusiastic feedback from that, as you'd expect. And it has only added to our already stratospheric levels of enthusiasm for this. So just so long as you understand that this isn't in your account yet, and it will be coming in short order, I wanted to give you a sneak peek as, sort of as a gift, a thank you for turning up to these monologues. I wanted to show you what's coming down the line in this development. So the next stage is having multiple records on one PDF, which I know I'm sort of saying, oh my God, isn't that amazing? But what we're talking about is moving from advanced information sheets, which of course you still have, one work per page, per sheet, with a bit of spillover maybe. But now we're talking about flyers and catalogues and front list sections and back list sections and ways to get your data out there in a beautiful format that this is just well, not magic, it's just code, isn't it? But has been produced from your single version of the truth. So this is real payoff of putting all of your data into Consonance. Yes, you can send out an ONIX message, and that's absolutely vital. And also you can construct genuinely beautiful things. So you can tell I've been doing a lot of happy fun times, trying out all sorts of things on my development machine. But I'm just going to show you one today because I think it adequately expresses what we're talking about here. So just like we saw a couple of weeks back, we've got a way to get our data elements into left-hand and right-hand columns. But now, look, I mean, it's just so flipping amazing. We've got the data. You know, what is this? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 products to a page. And, you know, scrolling onto the next page, it's all super gorgeous. I mean, this took me like the 5 minutes before this live stream when I thought, gosh, wouldn't it be nice if I could show everyone what's coming down the line? This is quick work because the data's already there and the custom elements are already there that you know and love. So we've added in a few more options. You know, we've got the number of records to display per page. We've got the number of columns per page. You can change the cover width. So this one, actually, the cover occupies the entirety of the width, and we haven't got anything in the right hand column, but we have got data underneath the image in the first column. And to kind of make sense of that, we've added this temporary, I mean, it's not temporary, but you would turn it on and off temporarily, this option to show the grid that you're working within. So if I click show grid, then I'm going to be able to see the lines around each individual box that has been drawn for these products to go in. So you can kind of think, okay, that's how much room I've got to work with. What other data can I put in? And one of the main differences between this and the single record to a page piece is that data can't just wrap into the next box. That would be super weird. You want this box to be about boxing fitness and this one to be about Celestial Omnibus, but not to have a sort of, you know, like in InDesign when you flow between boxes. So even if you don't want to use Consonance for actually emitting the final piece of art, this is going to be so useful for checking that your data will fit the amount of space that you've got allocated for it. So like if I add blurb in as an element, you know, that is not going to fit. If any of these records have got blurbs in them, it's just not going to fit in the box here. And so what we've got now is a sort of an overspill icon where, you know, if I click on that, I'm going to go down to our errors at the bottom of the PDF. Super cool. Where it says blurb does not fit. Then if I hit that, I can bounce back to my record, back again. And you can click to edit the data on the metadata page, or click back to the AI template, the record that we're on. So, you know, this is, you can download this PDF, send it to somebody who needs to review it for data quality. From within the PDF, they can click through to Consonance, make the change there, and then regenerate it and see if that's going to work. So, you know, super exciting. Let's delete that and we really are in live demo land today because I didn't try this beforehand, but I am going to, on the fly, change this setting to say, well, I don't want 10 records per page. I want 3 columns and 6 records per page. And so I'm going to just see if that works to show you the malleability of this kind of thing. So, there we have it. We've just straight away gone to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the page. And I'm really excited. So that has gone through QA, thrillingly. Our incredible team have scrutinised it from every which way and have come up with 2 thumbs pointing upwards. So coming soon to a Consonance account near you. Just to finish that bit off, the next stage of development on that is going to be amalgamating multiple marketing material templates into an entire catalogue. So imagine you'll set up 3 different templates here. One has got 1 product per page. The next one has got 2 products per page, at the top and the bottom there. And then the final one has got 10 products per page in 5 columns. That's your front list, your imprint and your backlist sections of your catalogue, which you're going to be able to create just like that, and being able to insert free text and a cover. I think this is actually going to improve productivity. Forget all of these fancy shiny AI nonsenses. This is proper normal programming, massively improving all of our productivity, creating the sort of materials that correctly reflect the beauty of your works. And so I am proud to be making this sort of feature available. So how thrilling. Multi-record PDFs. Doesn't do it justice, does it, that name? We should call it something like rocket launch. No, leave that to the programmers. Right. Oh, look at this. An exciting bonus power move with a slightly more lilac hue today. Yes, we are doing a power move, everybody. Now cover your screen from your colleagues, because you need to keep this to yourself. This is your way of doing something in the publishing day so incredible that your colleagues are just going to say, oh, how did you do that? This is your power move. And today the power move is Regex searches. Do not worry. Everything's going to be fine. Regex does sound very technical, and oh my word, it is. But you can use a little sprinkling of it to achieve amazing things. So I've got this last report up here. The report is called In the Caves, and I am going to, if there are any Cure fans out there, we're going to keep that one as our little secret, aren't we? So In the Caves is a report, and it says products title, matches case insensitive pattern is a new option in this middle thing here. Matches case insensitive pattern. So let's break that down. Case insensitive, that's less frightening than it sounds. That means, is it uppercase or is it lowercase? I don't care. I am insensitive to it. So I'm going to be able to do a search, and I'm not going to have to worry about whether I've capitalised the terms of my search properly or not. Great. Matches case insensitive pattern. And then I've got my thing here, and it's gone a bit funny, hasn't it? Because we've got square brackets, and that's not normal. I mean, what I'm trying to do here is find my products that have got a title with the word grey in. But, I'm sitting there thinking, well, what even is the correct way to spell grey? And I Googled it and I thought, okay, that's fine. But I wonder if the title has been spelt correctly, or whether there's some sort of local spelling or different spelling that I need to... I'm not going to worry about this. I am going to use a Regex search to get the products that satisfy this condition. And so this means match on the letter G, fine, the letter R, fine, either the letter E or A, and then the letter Y, fine. And sure enough, I get back my results. All cats are grey with an A, lamp black wolf grey with an E. And so, I'm calling that a power move because I haven't had to faff around, trying to find out the canonical spelling of a particular thing. I have used my matches case insensitive pattern search condition there to get my results that are a bit of a fuzzy match. And that is my exciting story for the week, that you're going to be able to, really strut through those corridors of power, being able to do these incredible things that no one else can. So that's your bonus power move for the week. You're welcome. What's next? Oh, we're done. Look at that. Wow, we've done so much. We did a live demo of Royalties, which I'm going to say is, that's pretty good stuff to have done an entire royalty run in, half an hour without much fuss or bother. Let me know, won't you, if you'd like us to dive in more on that, because we kept it vanilla, we kept it bare bones. In the real world, there is always more complexity. I quite fancy chipping into that complexity and, saying, well, what do you do when you've got an escalator? Well, what do you do when you've got an opening balance? Well, what do you do when you have to transfer the payee from one to another because time has passed and something's changed? So raise a ticket, as they say, on support@Consonance.app, and let me know if there's anything in particular that you'd like to dive into. And it doesn't have to be on the internet. You can just, email us, and we will absolutely gladly always let you know what we think and guide you through these gnarly problems. But yeah, so that was the live stream that was. More of this sort of thing next week. I'm trying to think if there's any blockers coming up. No, I mean, the most exciting thing for me over the weekend will be, putting the finishing touches on that multi-product PDF. So if you're about to do your catalogue for autumn winter or something, then, maybe get in touch, let us know if that's your plan. Happy to nurse you through that. And like we were saying, even if it's a question of having a tool, a very immediate tool that gets you to visualize how your data is coming along for this particular use. Is it going to fit in a box? It doesn't really matter if it's in Consonance or InDesign or some other, layout mechanism. Blurb's got to fit in the box. So hopefully for everyone, that'll be a really useful tool. So right, enough yammering. Have a lovely week. I'm really enjoying these things. Some of you have been so kind enough to actually, email and say, no, it's good, it's all right. So I feel a little bit less like I'm shouting into the void. I really appreciate it. Definitely give me a thumbs up. I like that. It's probably one of my favourite bits, the old thumbs up. Anyway,